Welcome. Welcome to the online webinar for situated design. The one of the master in the Avans master, professional masters, and today I'm gonna talk a little bit about what is situated design. What do we offer, very concretely in terms of curriculum and most of the practicalities and. In terms of enrollment and in terms of admission enrollment, you can always contact our staff, Nancy. She will be able to answer all this more on the admission side of question. I am the pathway leader of Situated Design. I'm happy to answer any question around what this master means in your 2 years of study and what it means professionally after what does it mean to have a professional life afterwards. So yeah, feel free to write down any question if you have, as I will be going through all the contents in this webinar, and I'm happy to answer them afterwards. So yeah, like I mentioned, I will go through a little bit about the introduction, the program, what's our philosophy, why situated design is such a unique term, and it's quite a unique master that is offered around is quite a singular kind of master that is offered around the world, and why it's happening in the Netherlands and all that kind of thing. And of course, I will talk about the teams, the partners, what to expect in this 2 years, and especially in your graduation. Yeah. So first and foremost, we are a school that offer a 24 months, i.e. 2 years, master studies. The whole program offer around 120 ECs, study credits, and we have a very unique program that is a more like signature program that is across pathway studies. The reason that we call ourselves pathways is kind of traditionally it's kind of different from the traditionally subscribed like department idea that like you are very disciplinary, you are focusing on all the resource and all the community within that specific department. Instead, we call ourselves pathways, as in we offer a direction and a vantage point for you to look and engage with the world and engaging with a certain thread of the history. But then we lead you through that pathway. But we hope that our program can be open enough for you to assemble your own knowledge base and your own kind of narrative around the world. I will go down to that in detail in the upcoming slides. In this 2 years program, it's divided in 4 semesters. In each semesters, we have quite well-designed components of different kind of study modules, and as you can see, there's a very heavy components on. We teach you how to do research, and because we are a practice-led research program, which is quite different from most of the design master around the world. We are not only encouraging you to refine to refine your skill and then working on large problems, but we encourage you to find your own ways of assemble knowledge and then discover new ideas and new philosophies with your own kind of knowledge base. And that's the process that we call research. And by doing so, we hope that these kind of research can inform a unique practice of yours, where you can starting to engage with the world with your own toolkits and your own kind of vantage point. And later on, I will talk about like why we think that's very important in the upcoming design practice and the education that we believe in. As you can see that semester 1 and 2, we have a research seminar, which is a fundamental course that all the pathway students will be joining, and they will study the kind of research 101. What does it mean to do artistic research? And how do you relate that to your practice? Different kind of ethics and the kind of positionality that you need to think about to open that door for you, basically. And the modules is our signature program, which I will mention in 2 slides. Independent studio practice is more like your own work, your own kind of after all the modules that offer you different kind of lens to look at the world. You get to expose to the new thinking, the new philosophy, the new practice, and then that hopefully can simulate and inform what kind of practitioners that you want to become. And the semester 3 and 4, we will have continuously having the research seminar for you to dig a little bit deeper into your own practice with your peers. And you're going to write a thesis next to your further develop independent studio practice. And we will also have lecture series for you to further expose to different emergent thinkers and important practitioners as well. And of course, in between, a lot of people will ask about internship opportunities. Maybe I can just quickly say here, we don't have structural internship collaboration with companies or organization that has to do with, again, our philosophy, which I will repeat again later. And but we do offer support if you find any kind of internship opportunities. We can offer you a different kind of connection and supporting letters as well. But all of that is requiring is provided under the circumstance that you can still ensure a full-time study in this course, because we are a full-time study program, that we will have to see how the internship will be contributing to your study trajectory, and we want to make sure that your internship is not just being someone else's like sort of cheap labor, but rather it does make meaningful contribution to your own work. And I think that's really what we always aiming at. We want to give you an education that can really help you to cultivate your own thoughts, your own practice, and eventually you becomes a very unique designer that you wish to become. And so you wouldn't be replaceable by any other people or any other kind of technology, let's say. So yeah, I expand a little bit too much maybe, but hopefully that's still useful information. But more concretely, on the first year, we have ample programs for you to get in touch with all the new thinking, all the different kind of practice. You can see that we offer you 3 modules. One module is like a pathway-specific crash course where the first year when you get in, you will first get in touch with what is like the kind of signature kind of like a short crash course that get you to feel or understand what does it mean to practice with situatedness? What is situated practice? We will have a crash course around that. You will quickly make some work within 1 week. But in the past experience, we always have really amazing work to begin with. And it's always a treat to just see how people can create in such a short time, in such an intense course, and then responding to the idea of situated practice. And across the first year, you will have get to choose like 2 other modules to be part of your curriculum. This could be coming from situated design, but can also come from visual art and ecology futures. We also have a new master, a new sister master, health by design. I don't know whether Nancy can answer that. Like, I don't know how integrated that make them be part of the available modules. But I think that's always the goal. I don't know whether that will be available next year already. But either way, our structure remain the same. If we like when we have the sister pathways next to us, situated design, visual art, ecology future, you can choose these modules across pathway, and that's sort of creating your own pathway to graduate. And like I mentioned, the research seminar is a very important component where we teach you all the research necessary knowledge about research, and then along the line you will create your own independent studio practice and make your own body of work, and exploring what kind of thinker that you potentially can be and want to be. And then throughout that whole process, you will be supported by all the tutors within the whole masters, from visual arts, situated design, and ecology futures. And me being the pathway leader will also act as a process tutor that will check in with you every now and then to see how your study trajectories can work within these 2 years, with the goal that you can graduate with something that you're proud of. But my philosophy has always been that since we talk about situatedness, we have to understand that everyone's study trajectory is very different. So we will have this kind of quite almost intimate conversation about what does this progress currently means for you? How do we envision a future, like the kind of study trajectory that you want to aim at? What does your current roadblocks is actually means for you? Stuff like that. So it will be a very intense first year, and but also a very enriching one. Here is a slide for exemplary modules that we can offer. We offer. Each year has slightly different kind of tweaks depending on tutors' availabilities and also student requests as well. So we have in situated design, we mostly offer a more the kind of module that is more socially relevant, but also with different type of medium to practice with. So if you come with some kind of media practice, you might find it very exciting. But if you come from a more social oriented kind of direction, that's also, I'm sure that it can also give you very interesting perspective as well. And like I mentioned again, like you can choose across different pathways, especially ecology future have this very unique offer around bio art and bio design. And in the visual art, there's a lot more video based work and research based work. You're welcome to sort of look around and choose them. In the second year, after a heavy exposure of the first year, the second year was really all about you. What kind of work that you want to do, what kind of research that you're starting to grow a solid foundation with, and what kind of practitioner that you're starting to figure it out, who you are basically, and through the kind of first year's heavy exposure, and second year is really the time for concentration, where you starting to really contemplate about what kind of work that you want to produce. And this will be on the surface, there's not much program for like to keep on stimulating you anymore, because it's time for you to really sit down and then making work and do different kind of things. And in the second year, there's also 2 phases of graduation. We are where we build up an entire graduation trajectory for you to slowly landing into that place, right? Like when in the third semester, we will have a kind of experimental small scale exhibition where you organize within yourself, and so that you kind of starting to understand what it means to work together, what it means to make work, what it means to have practice-led research, how do you present your work yourself, what kind of discourse that you're finally building up. But all these are kind of intermediary kind of experiments, so that after that, then you will starting to get to know better and in a more tangible way what kind of graduation work that you are finally producing. And then at the end that you will hopefully that you create something really amazing. A lot of our graduates immediately get exhibition invitation, different kind of offers. Some of them get grants and awards because the work that they create is so unique by themselves. And along the line, as a master study, it's never really lack of time for reflection, and a lot of time we ask you to write it down as a thesis of 6,000 words. It's not too long, but also it's more challenging for you to condense 2 years of thoughts and research into 6,000 words and then make it compact. But it's a very useful exercise to put everything down and then force yourself to look at a more linear way of constructing an argument, and next to your not so linear way of material practice. It's usually set up a very professional outlook for you to be able to not only present your work but also talk about your work, but and making connection with other people. Yeah, this of course, if you come from a design background that is rather traditional, if I can say, mostly focused on making work and solution based. This might be a little bit novel and new for you, but it's actually quite a normal practice in the Netherlands, which is one of the dare I say that one of the best design culture around the world, where many even consider conventional work is quite considered experimental elsewhere. So it has a lot to do with its own infrastructure and all that. If you're interested, we can talk about it later. But we get a lot of questions about like how what kind of job offer that they can get after this master. And to answer that, I feel like we need to first understand the kind of cultural context and industrial context here, which I'm happy to discuss that if you are interested about that. Yeah. So like I'm already hinted several times, this is a program designed for self-directed research. What does it mean? It means that the research has to be very meaningful for you. There will be no longer a fixed assignment. Because we work with some company, you need to work on this project and that. We doesn't work like that. We encourage you to really think about the topic and the subject that matters to you, and then so you kind of explore it in the way that you feel like, and you see fit. And of course, it's not that we will just completely let you go and then does like we will actually offer a lot of critical opinion and then professional advice for you to sort of navigate your research in a more sufficient and also very informed way. But first and foremost, we are a program that really focus on you, and we do teach in a way that believe everyone who joined our program really committed to a certain idea they have with the world, and want to change something, and want to figure out who they can potentially be for themselves and for their own environment. So with this kind of conviction and belief, all our teaching is really hyper focused on and thinking with you and discovering your own potential, your own unique your unique position in this world. So in this way, we don't really. That's also why I mentioned earlier, we don't build up a structural collaboration with any kind of other company and organization to offer you a standard internship, because we more thinking on a very tailored program and education for you. And of course, speaking of that, it's not that we will be seeing that as like a customized service for you, but we do believe pedagogy is a very, in a way, quite a challenging and intimate kind of interaction, where we have to discuss in a very critical and trusted way about what's in you as a creator and a thinker. So that will create a lot of challenges in your study, but we think that that's the best way to teach and support you in the self-directed research. Not only through this kind of program about self-evaluation, evaluation, and talking about how to professionally presenting your own work, and set up different kind of group collaboration between you. But most of all, we are really, our teaching is also responding to how we do situated design, is that we work with the situation, and that is you. And we honor the situation themselves and want to discover the more kind of hidden potential between inside that situation. And again, that is you. So yeah, all this different activities gonna change time to time, because each group each year is different, and we are very much a responsive team. If we sort of discuss and even aware of some of the situation where we're trying to respond it within what the institutional infrastructure allow. So yeah, that's that. I hope that makes sense. So after that, I hope that also slightly become visible about what is situated design. We have this kind of situated design is rather it it's already, the terminology is already around for a while, but as a professionalized master, I think we are still rather new, and we are always work in the belief that we will always co-create what that concept means with our students. Again, that is because you are our situation as well. So it's a mutual education per se. Let's say that. But if I can sort of talk about what situated design is in terms of what kind of designer that we hope to cultivate you to become. Here is a few lines that I created for a couple of years. That is essentially, situated design is the embodied design practice where designer navigates the world as they are part of it, instead of traditionally designers training designer to believe that they are always outside of the problem, and so that they can be objective, so that they can kind of create a kind of impartial solution. Situated design believe that we are all part of the problem, and we need to navigate the problem with this in mind. So that, like, the more that you care about the situation, the more that you are informed. But there's a lot of nuance between that as well, of course. And then situated design is a design practice that designer gets to be honest about their perspective, about their feelings, and their relationship with others and with the world. And that again goes back to what we the previous point is that we have to be honest that we are human being living in this world, and then we have our own feelings, we have our own limitation and perspectives, and it is with this kind of clarity and honesty that we can actually make meaningful connection with others and then making meaningful change. This has to do with a lot of historical critique around how design operate in the kind of assumption, almost like a tyranny way of each human being is manageable, and we as the designer do not take any emotional responsibility for the situation. And situated design is definitely rebel against that kind of idea. And seeing that as a caring and ethical practice in the future. And design practice that is, should be always faithful to the situation. Like I said, that even in our education, we want to exercise that as well. We need to be honest that we are educated higher education in design, and we need to be honest about what's like the gap between what is happening in the world right now and what is our ideal world that should become, and then we navigate around these kind of gaps and sometimes frustration and disbelief. And but then when we are able to do that, we will be able to really see what is happening in front of us and not putting a filter around it, and so that we can really deal with the situation with our own stake and own emotion and own emotional stake within that. And this has to do with our belief that the traditional way of design is no longer contributing much good in the society. And we need to change our way to practice and engaging in designing the world, so that being faithful to the situation, instead of seeing that as always a manageable, reproducible program, we just get rid of the things that we don't want to see, or we think is imperfect, and then we design things on top of that. We no longer believe that, because we think that everything exists for certain reasons. We believe that all our feelings and position is valuable, and so that we can finally starting to make this faithful connection with our situation, and then we design things with that in mind. And the last one that also lead to again several previous point that we were talking about, situated design is a design practice that see productification and commercialization as only an option to relate to the world, but it's not by no means an obligation of design. We do think that making a product, making things through commercialization is a meaningful way, an effective way to relate to the world, to communicate ideas, if it's done meaningfully and mindfully. But we also think that design is much broader than that. Design is a profession that help people, that including ourselves, the designer, to connect with the surrounding, and that do not always need products or commercial practice to realize, right? So it can be a small scale kind of facilitation, safe space, that kind of practice. It could be it could be you develop a different way to organize the communities. It doesn't need to be commercialized. However, we are not excluding commercialization as part of the option. We just want to broaden your horizons, let's say. Eventually, what we want to help you to become is a professional designer that know, like professionally, how to present your work, how to engage with your peers, find your peers in the professional field, how to connect with a larger sector of the society, and in order to do that, you need to know your true passion. Hopefully, And I'm proud to say that in the recent years, many of our graduates does feel like they want to continuously pursue what they graduate with, because that is something that's so meaningful for them. So even though they don't immediately translate into monetary value, they have this huge passion and conviction to continue their research and find different way to engage with like-minded people, and that keeps themselves motivated. And through that, their unique way of seeing, sensing, and working with the world become more and more sophisticated and mature, and that allows them to be able to cope with all kind of flux in the flux and change in the reality, and so that you know how to situate yourself without losing yourself, and then eventually you are capable and you can afford to be honest. And having said that, all this hopefully passionate words, and we are a team of four. We all of us cover very different parts of the different design practice. Marnix is a very renowned media artist that have been working with since the net time. He has been working across different kind of mediums, extremely professional in producing works and then making like critical ideas into a tangible material, large-scale installation, and different ways to engage with people. Oli Poma has a wealth of knowledge with like podcast, audio, media practice, theater, performance. He worked with a lot of different artists and designer to produce very impressive everyday practice. And Martin Kabay comes from also a design background, but his work is focused a lot more with social justice, environmental concerns, thinking about the role of design and how it can work differently. So they all offer modules, of course, and then we also will invite external guest tutor to provide different kind of modules and lectures and tutoring hours. So you will have this strong base. I myself is a designer that work with a system, a different kind of system, institutions, and digital technology as a way to reimagining the world through the lens of care and care ethic as a design practice. So so that with all this different variety of professional experience, we hope to be able to like offer you different possibilities. And we all are very active designer in the field. We constantly do have our own shows, and our own work is always being published and discussed here and there. So we can also help you a lot with what is going on in the design field and beyond. Yeah. So, and also another unique program that we offer is Rethinking the Artist Economy. It's a residency in Boxtel, a small city in the Netherlands. And you get to stay in this beautiful house at the beginning of the year, and living and working together intensely for a week. And you will be able to discuss all sorts of unconventional topics around value, about land justice, about all sorts of things that you want to explore together as a collective with all the new students together. And it's led by Maha. She worked with a lot of topic around alternative economies and how does the art work, how does it function within the art world, and then using the art world as a lens to rethink the larger socioeconomic structure in the society. And even though I said that we don't have, we purposefully don't have structural program in terms of internship, we do work with a wealth of local and international institutions in the Netherlands, so that opportunities is offered and will pop up in your inbox time to time. And then again, like I said, that we will always be happy to discuss with you what does those options mean for your study. We hope that this all this offering can make a positive impact on your own study, so that you will be able to really integrate that into your own project. And graduation show is always the highlight in our education. That's where you get to show all your 2 years work and thinking in a very refined setting. We usually have a lot. Every year we have increasing amount of visitors, and graduation show is also where a lot of people get invitations to show their work here and there, and you will meet a lot of professionals in the field. They usually want to really discuss what you have been working on at length. And next to that is Graduation Research Hub. Some of you, if you have been following us, you might aware that there are online streaming program where you get to present at V2 and in a very professional setting and talking about your research, your practice. And it's a chance where a lot of people will ask you, will kind of not only in the live audience, but also the online audience get to ask you questions and then really focus on your research. And the research will also lead to a research award that kindly provided by EKP. Every year we will select the research excellence excellence in research award, and you will, if you get selected, you will be awarded with 5,000 euros as a recognition of the excellence of your research. And yeah, so graduation phase is a lot, but it's always leading towards a very successful and a very hopefully a very impactful periods of your life. So yeah, I hope that interests you. And then if you have any questions, I'm happy to answer them. Yeah, and right, Marvin or Nancy, I don't know whether you're there.
I'm still here.
Yeah.
Although, if there are any questions related to this master or any the Masters of Fine Art and Design, you can direct them to masteradmission@avans.nl. I've put